Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. WWE 2K18 has been out now for about a week. I've been playing it pretty much extensively for this past week, and I think I'm in a pretty good position to give you a pretty in-depth review on the game now. A little bit of background from me in regards to my wrestling game history. I've basically been playing a WWE game every year right back until the WWF days, on the PlayStation 1, WWF Warzone more specifically. I am a bit of a closet wrestling fan. I love wrestling, I enjoy it. I don't follow it as in depth as I used to, but I still look forward to the annual wrestling game. So every year I pretty much buy these games, and I've seen this game evolve and develop ever since 2K took it over. From the fairly lackluster, I think 2K15 was it the first one, or 16, something like that, and it was really stripped down to its bare bones in them days. And every year since they first took it over, 2K, they've been like adding more flesh to the bones, if you like, every year and building the game back up. And this year seems to be the accumulation of that over the last few 2 or 3 years. I thought last year's game, 2K17, was pretty good, really. I didn't have an awful lot of complaints about it, and to be honest, it's kind of the same this year. Kind of disappointingly so, I have to say. This game this year almost reminds me of the FIFA games, if you play the FIFA games, and probably the NFL games, the Madden games and things like that. It just feels like a yearly update of the roster and a couple of spit and polishing here and there. It doesn't feel like they've overhauled a great deal in the game, I have to be honest. Yes, the lighting's improved. Yes, some of the graphics are improved. The roster is again bigger than it was last year. We've now got unbelievably over 200 wrestlers at launch, and more to come in the DLC, which is incredible, really. The roster alone, I think, deserves a lot of credit because they really have outdone themselves this year. There's a lot of people on the roster, you know, some of the NXT wrestlers, I don't even know who they are. That's how big the roster is, so props to 2K for that. They've done a good job with the roster. But everything else just kind of feels like a tiny bit of an improvement on what we got last year. The graphics are slightly improved, the entrances are slightly improved, the crowd slightly improved, the sound slightly improved, the commentary slightly, because they've got a different commentary team now, which is a breath of fresh air, even though they do say stupid things at inappropriate times. But other than that, there's not a great deal of difference here. I still think the showcase mode is missing. That was taken out last year, and we all thought that it was going to be back this year, but we haven't got a showcase mode this year. You've got your exhibition modes. You have the universe mode, which we'll come on to shortly, and then you've got the my player section, which basically leads to the my career mode and the road to glory mode, and obviously you've got the creation suite, and that's your lot, really. And obviously your online stuff. There's nothing here that's going to make you think, if you haven't played this game for a couple of years, I'm having it this year, I'm going to go rush out and buy it, because I don't think they've really pulled it out of the bag any more than they have last year. Certainly last year. I think last year was a big step up from 16. And this year is an improved model of last year's game. I suppose that's the best compliment I can give it. So if you enjoy 2K17, then you are going to enjoy 2K18. You know, it's simple as, really. It feels the same, it plays the same. They've added a new carry system now, which isn't new, really. They had something similar in SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, I think it was, or 2009, one of them. So it isn't new to wrestling games. It's just new to the 2K series of games. Universe mode, to be honest, it's just tweaked. I got a bit excited when I mainly play universe mode, and I got a bit excited when I first started playing it, because there were runnings happening, there were lots of animations happening, and I thought, oh, they've finally got there. But I ended up just seeing the same animations week after week, and the same matches week after week. It's just more of the same universe. I can't honestly say they've improved that enough to make it really any different than last year's the universe mode at all. It's just, again, a slight improvement on what we got last year. My career, from what I've played so far, the big selling point this year is you've got the freedom of the backstage. You can walk around, you can interact with the other wrestlers, and kind of have a bit more control over the direction of your career. Now, I'll be honest, I've not put hours upon hours into my career mode yet. I've put about maybe 3 or 4 hours into it. I'm still in the NXT stage, and I have to say that my career is an improvement on what we've got over the last couple of years so far. It doesn't feel particularly repetitive at the moment. It does feel that each week is fairly fresh. The trouble we had with my career on the previous couple of years is it was just grinding matches. You'd end up doing 20 matches before you got to like #1 contender for like the NXT title or the IC title, and it just felt like forever. But I have to say, I do think that my career is improved this year. I didn't play it a lot last year. I just found it boring last year and the year before. So far, I'm not finding it boring, so I do think it is a success. The my career mode this year. They've added a loot box into it, but don't worry, you don't pay real money for them. You buy money that you earn in the game to open loot boxes, and that opens up like new entrances and clothing and buffs, like power moves. That's how you earn them all during my career, which gives you an incentive to carry on playing, I suppose, to earn the loot boxes. So for me, yes, I do think my career is an improvement. I think that's where they've probably put most of their effort. Don't get me wrong, I think there's still a ways to go with it. It still feels a little bit restrictive, but it is better than it has been on previous years. So overall, I do think this is a good game. If you're a wrestling fan, it's an essential buy. The presentation is top quality once again. Like I say, if you're a WWE fan, it's going to be definitely worth a buy for you. And it is better than last year's game. So if you did enjoy last year's game, this is another buy. And so far, I have to say I am enjoying it, and I will probably be putting still more time into this game for over the next coming months. So thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.